This is a series of videos about a March 23rd to March 28th trip to Canyonlands, Arches, Zion, and Bryce Canyon National Parks. We flew, rented a car, and stayed in hotels.
Why a trip in late March? Last summer we took a trip to Glacier National Park in August. It wasn't as much fun as past trips, very crowded, a lot of restrictions, had to make reservations. So we thought we'd try a trip in the shoulder season to a series of national parks we've never visited before.
We flew from Birmingham on United to Denver and then had a long layover flying to Moab. When we booked the flights months before, we scheduled to arrive in Moab early afternoon. There was a schedule change that put us in the Moab airport about 4:30. Yes, Moab has an airport with commercial airline service, United and Delta. It's the smallest airport in the U.S. with commercial service that I've flown. No gates. Baggage claim is outside. There's one rental car counter. A combo of Alamo, National, and Enterprise. One window. I booked a full-size car picking up at Moab and returning in St. George, Utah. When I got to the window, there were 3 cars left: a Hyundai Accent, a Toyota Corolla, or a Chrysler Pacifica minivan. I took the minivan. The first 2 nights we were booked at a Hilton Homewood Suites in Moab. Moab is a tourist town, a gateway town to 2 national parks. There are a lot of hotel choices. For the trip, I booked all Hilton Homewood Suites and Hampton Inns because I'm in the rewards program for Hilton. If you're in the Marriott rewards program, there are many choices. The Homewood Suites is in walking distance of many restaurants and stores. The rooms are nice. The staff was helpful. Complimentary breakfast starts at 6 a.m., which is important if you want an early start to the parks. We walked to dinner and ate at the Spoke, a hamburger place. Moab is primarily a hamburger and pizza town. There's one fine dining restaurant. We tried it one night. It was okay. It was good, but not the fine dining experience you might expect in other places.
The next morning we had an early breakfast. The Homewood Suites had it ready at 6. So we headed out about dawn. We had about a 40-minute drive to Canyonlands National Park. Drive's very nice, a lot of scenery on the way, so it wasn't like a total waste of time by any means. Canyonlands National Park is the largest in acreage, over 300,000 acres, but it's the least visited. The visitor center is in the Islands in the Sky district. The visitor center has exhibits of the natural history in the area. Also has vault toilets, and that's the last running water you're going to see in the park. These views are from the overlook just across the street from the visitor center. They're easy to overlook, but check them out. One of the most popular places to visit in the Island of Skies district, Canyonlands National Park, is the Mesa Arch. It's maybe a half-mile walk from the parking lot. We were there early, so we had no problem getting a parking space, and also wasn't real crowded, so we got some nice pictures of the arch, and we even had some volunteers help to take a picture of us while we're sitting under the arch and Mesa Arch. A really neat place to be right after sunrise at Canyonlands Park. This video and still shots are from the Green River Overlook. Again, very short, easy walk from the car. There's a dry camping site in the way to the Green River Overlook. Lost the video on that, but they were very small campsites. High desert that is nice and warm, even probably 9, 10 o'clock in the morning when we were there. There's a lot of overlooks in the park. So this will give you an example of what they're like without having to take you through all of them.
March 24, 2022.
We got to meet this couple. They were from the UK. They'd flown into Vegas and spent about 10 days doing the Mighty Five National Park. So it's really good to see international travelers being able to visit the U.S. As you can see, in March, it was shirt sleeve weather at this particular location in mid-morning. I imagine in the summer it could be really pretty hot to visit this particular location. So that's another plus of visiting in March. These are pictures of Schaefer Canyon and Schaefer Canyon Road, a 4x4 only road. I believe you need a permit to drive your street legal 4x4 on this road. You can get more information at the Visitor Center or Information Center in Moab.
All right, leaving Hogwood Suites in Moab, heading for Arches.
The entrance to Arches is only about 5 miles from the hotel in Moab, so it's a real quick drive. And of course, that's why it makes it a very popular destination, because it's so accessible. This is the turn to Arches National Park off the highway. The afternoon before, cars were parked here waiting to get in. The park had closed to vehicle traffic, I think, early morning, mid-morning, and they were waiting for the afternoon so they could get in. We understand that the park's going to invitation only starting on April 3rd. When you get to the park early, there might not be any rangers to take your money. $30 fee to enter all the national parks in Utah. So there's no ranger to take our fee or really to show our pass. We have a senior lifetime pass, a great deal. $80 lifetime gets you in all the national parks, everybody in the car for that one pass. Also, you get half price camping at a lot of the federal campgrounds, including the Corps of Engineers, which have very reasonable camping fees, so you cut that in half. It's really quite a value, so we recommend getting that senior lifetime pass. Driving through Arches Park at dawn was really pretty neat for us. We got to see the sun come up, and you see the colors change on all the rocks when you drive through the park. So if you get up early, you not only beat the crowds, but maybe you get a little bit different perspective on the scenery. Some of the national parks we visited, you really need to park the car and get on the trails to experience the beauty of the park. This is not one of them. Even without leaving your car, you get really some spectacular scenery. So if you can't move around very well, or you got family members and not very mobile, Arches would be one that is really nice to visit.
Spectacular, isn't it?
We did not publish or film every part of the park we visited, but hopefully these are representative of what you see. So Again, I would take your time with driving through the park. There's a lot of scenery. Another advantage going early in the morning, there's no cars in front of you, so if you're the driver, you get to see a lot.
That's pretty amazing. That had fallen.
This video shows you the hike up to the Delicate Arch. In the park guide, it calls this hike strenuous. You can see that the terrain is steep. It's more like walking upstairs, but it's really easy to get your footing. So to us, it wasn't that strenuous a hike. We did not do the whole loop. We just did the walk up to this first loop, and then we'll show you a little bit more about this walk early in the morning.
When the windows were we're not the only ones got to hurry.
This little video clip to show you the scale of the arch. Of course, you'll see that it's a very popular place on a dawn. A lot of people want to see the sunrise come through the arch.
What you think?
Na razie za chwilę, będziemy trzeci i Marcin co do
Your footing is easy. The trail's well maintained. So we didn't find it this much of a strenuous hike that morning. Scenery spectacular in the morning. This shows the distance back to the car parking area. But you can see it's a downhill walk, a pretty easy walk. This is leaving the parking area, a second parking area near the Delicate Arch, and also serves as a parking area to the double arch, which is to the right. So you could park in this one area and do two nice hikes without having to move the car. We're coming up to the Balance Rock. That's a famous photo spot, and there's a trail around that rock. So I've got a little close-up photo that I took from the sunshine side.
Those are pretty incredible too. Did you turn off and get you a picture?
Visiting Moab, Canyonlands National Park, and Arches National Park in late March. Is it a good time to go? We enjoyed it. Morning temperatures were in the 40s, and afternoon it warmed up to about 65 or 70. It made it easy to walk in the parks and around town. In the summer, high temps are 95 to 100 plus. All restaurants in Moab were open. The weather was not a limiting factor, but an enabler. We avoided obtaining a timed reservation for Arches National Park that are required starting in April going through October.
It's very amazing.
If we stayed a few more days in the Moab area, maybe we'd consider hiring a guide with a 4x4 to explore more of Canyonlands National Park and take a few more hikes there. Maybe a few more hikes in Arches National Park. To our friends who are considering a visit, we hope this helps you decide if it'll be a fun trip. And if you go, get you started on your trip planning. Next up,
See you on the way.
Zion National Park in late March, Bryce Canyon National Park in late March, and traveling between Moab, Springdale, Zion, and traveling between Zion, Bryce Canyon, and a little information on Moab, Utah.